Hi everybody, welcome to Module 2. This is going to be an overview of what you can expect this week. First of all, we really enjoyed reading your discussion introductions and I'm really impressed anyway with how much you guys shared and you talked to each other and you came back and you responded to questions. It's exactly what we want to see. If you haven't already done so, please add a profile picture of yourself in PowerSchool. You can go click the icon top right on your screen, and that will allow you to add a picture that's just continually in PowerSchool and will be associated then with all of your posts and such. And then just a reminder, once you make your post in PowerSchool or make a reply post in PowerSchool, don't forget to keep coming back every day or so until Sunday each week, because sometimes people post questions back to you and they're kind of waiting to see what you say. So make sure you revisit those posts. Some of you may have noticed that we opened up both Module 1 and 2 last week. And just so you know, there's a few students in the class that wanted that to happen because they want to get a little bit ahead to be able to go on vacations later. And so you're all welcome to do that. But I wanted to just say, please don't feel any pressure whatsoever to do anything in the next week's module. Just work in the current one and you'll be doing great. It's just there if you do decide you want to work 1 week ahead because you know of a vacation or something coming. Okay, so about Module 2. This is going to be the module where we learn about adult learning theory. And I don't know about you, but I know I was moved from the classroom into a teacher on assignment position and immediately jumped into the world of professional development, but I never really had any training at all about what that meant. I didn't know adult learning theory. I didn't know anything about anything other than being a regular classroom teacher. And silly me, I thought it would be just the same. Anyway, so that's what this section or this module is going to be about. So we'll be looking at what are the needs of adult learners, and we'll look at the difference between job-embedded professional learning as opposed to traditional professional development and, you know, your normal sit and get kind of thing. And then we're going to analyze the elements of effective multimedia presentation design, and please don't judge this particular presentation that was thrown together rather quickly on a day off, I might add, but that's how most of us have to work through this, isn't it? Anyway, and then how to identify the frameworks and standards in place to create metrics for professional learning, how to measure growth for one person's growth in professional learning. And then finally, we'll help you learn about plans and goals and develop plans and goals for effective professional learning activities going forward. So that's really about it, and it's going to be a great module. I know you're going to enjoy what the learning is here. The next thing I wanted to share is kind of a follow-up. Last week we did a little preview on how to embed and link your products in PowerSchool. I'm just going to review it again because we really do want you to try to get the products right onto the PowerSchool page as embedded objects, rather than just sticking a link on the page or you know, taking a screenshot and putting an image on the page. You really want to get a live copy, and that's what embed. So what is that going to entail? So embedding your products makes your content more user-friendly. People have to click less to get to what they need to see, and that's always going to be better. So in your products tool set, now by product I mean what Web 2.0 tool are you using to create content out on the web? In this particular module you might be using PictoChart, you might be using a Google presentation slide deck, or you might be using a Microsoft presentation slide deck. In any of those cases, we need to look for the share tool first, but you're not going to get a typical share link. There's something more to it to get an embed code. So what you're going to look for is the word embed after you click the share link. or you might look for the word or the acronym HTML, or you might even look for the symbols, which are the brackets or the brackets with the diagonal in the middle. So you're going to want to select whichever those you see. Then you're going to copy the resulting text string that clicking that produces. And by the way, you might have to also click a publish button in the process. I know in Google you have to do that, and that means that your content that you've created will be then published on the web and viewable to anybody who has the code you're about to copy. Once you've got that copied code, you're going to go back to PowerSchool, and then you're going to go into whatever assignment it is and into the wiki project area and start your wiki project. Then you're going to click to add a content block in that wiki project space. When it asks you what type of content block, you're going to select on-page text as the content block type you're going to select. Next, you're going to click on the source button. It has the little brackets with the slash in the middle. And then you're going to click into the content editing space and paste your copied embed code. You can't just paste it into a regular content box. You have to first click the source button so that you're not pasting it into the regular text screen. And then you might have to adjust the width and the width is one of the codes that you'll usually find in the embed code. And the width we have available to us in PowerSchool's content boxes is 740. So I'm going to show you how to do this so you don't have to understand what I wrote there. And then you're going to click the Save button. Okay, on the next screen, it's going to go into the step-by-steps of that. And then after that, you're free to start working on Module 2. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the learning. Okay, so this is PictoChart. It's one of the popular infographic tools that many of you will use. Anyway, so what we're going to do is learn here how to get the embed code off PictoChart. Now, each tool you might use will have a different way to do this, but anyway, you'll look for generally the same things. I didn't create this. This is one of their templates. In any case, I opened it as my own, as though I was going to make my own poster here. And then at the top, you're going to want to click Share. So I'm clicking Share. It's actually going further in than we wanted to. This is where it will drop you initially. So when you click Share, it initially will ask you to click on a drop down. It will default to only you can view the sharing link. We want the second option, which I've already selected, and so you can see that's the case. It gives you then a link, but we don't want the link when we're embedding. The link is a helpful added thing you would add next to your embedded framed item, but because sometimes people just like to click the link, but putting the embedding in makes it much more user-friendly. They don't actually have to go anywhere to view your product. It's just right there on the screen they're already on. So what I'm going to look for is the embed code tool here. I'm in sharing first. And right here is where it is. This little bracket is one of the symbols that represents get the embed code. So I'm going to click that. And now you see the screen that I had going a moment ago. And I think initially it's at 840 for the custom width. So make sure you switch it to 740 because that's actually the width we have available in the content box that you're dealing with in PowerSchool. So change that to 740, and then when you click away from the box, it should change 740 here. Don't remove any of the quote marks or anything. And then you're going to want to select this entire frame, everything in it, I mean, and highlight it all and click Control C. And then you're going to then go into PowerSchool. And I actually am already in Philip's, sorry Philip, I'm in Philip's Module 2B Learning Activity screen. He had already clicked to start his wiki project. You have to hover, to see that. And then you get a screen like this. And you click Add the Content Block, select on-page text, and then you've got your text box now that you can work with. And without typing anything in the first box that you're presented with, click on the source button. Notice that same little bracket thing. And here it's got the slash in it, indicating you're going to put something in there. So we're going to click that. Notice all the other tools go dim. Now click in the box. It turns yellow, showing that you're in HTML mode, which is really programming language for the internet. And you're going to hold Control and hit V to paste. And your code is now in there. Down at the bottom where you can't see is your save button, but I'm going to go ahead. Oh, you know what? Before I click it, I have to put something up here. So I'm going to put embedding practice and my name. So if he sees this, if he's in there, he knows what that means. And I'm going to hide that. We don't need, it requires you to name every text block, but you don't have to have the naming showing. Now I'm going to click Save, which is out of your view, but I'm clicking it. And now you'll notice that PictoChart is loading itself into the frame on for the content block. And notice that the entire thing is there. It's scrollable, and which is really nice. So it's very different than taking a screenshot of your work and then inserting it as an image on the page, because that is a static image. If you go back to your original document, in this case at pictochart.com, and make a change to it, you're going to have to go copy it, save it, insert it all over again. Whereas when you use embed code, you have a live copy. You update back at the original location. It's always updated everywhere. You might have this on several different locations, maybe in a blog, maybe on a web page. And this is much more user-friendly for your professional development participants, because they don't have to click and go somewhere yet else and then possibly not remember how to get back to where they were. This is all right here on the page. And of course, you know, it's also recommended that you additionally put a nearby link, which was that other option you had in PictoChart, was just to get a link. You could put a link on the page as well, but that would just be a backup in case maybe their browser isn't displaying in-frame objects. That sometimes happens if they've got too many security controls on. Anyway, I'm going to delete this since this is Philip's space, and it will be gone. And there you have it. That is how to embed PictoChart. Now let's look at the same thing in a Google application. So I'm going to switch over to a Google slide deck. Now this could be a Google Doc. It could be a Google Drawing. Any of those, you can embed them all. So what you're going to look for is over here on the File menu, and this is a little different than just clicking the Share button. So you're going to go down here on the File menu and pick Publish to the Web. Okay, and this is the Google way. So in Google, Publish to the Web, first step. Second step, go to the embed option, and you'll notice that the dimensions aren't going to work. You can adjust them here, but I'm going to actually take the medium setting and then show you how to adjust it over in PowerSchool. And then you have to click Publish. And are you sure you want to publish? Because what that does is it makes it publicly viewable to anybody who has the code or the link. And then it presents you with the now familiar embed code, and it reminds you in this program that it's Control-C to copy, so I'm going to do Control-C. And now I'm going to go back over to Philip's wiki space and add a new content block and a new on-page text. I'm going to click Source again, and then I'm going to click in the box, and I'm going to paste. Now, in this case, I'm going to have to hand edit the width code and the height code. So notice here that width is bigger than height, and it looks like the height is about 3/4 of the width. I always have to guesstimate these. So I'm going to bring this down to the 740 I know I have width-wise in PowerSchool. And then I'm going to make this number a random number. I'm just guessing. So about 2/3 of this, hey, 600. Okay. So everything else you leave alone. And by the way, if you ever encounter a situation where these width and height codes aren't there, you can just type them in manually. It's just you got to get them exact. You got to get the quote marks, no spaces around the equal signs, spaces between the other items around them, but it works. I'm going to click, oh yeah, I'm going to need to name this again, embedding practice. So, okay, and then I'm going to hide it again. Okay, now I'm going to click save, and you'll see that the slideshow is now going to appear in a moment there, embedded right on the PowerSchool wiki space. And you can, you know, it comes with the navigation tools and everything. So you can have your viewers then go right into your your slide deck without having to leave your PowerSchool page or whatever, your blog, your website, wherever you are putting these. So embed code's pretty important. If I go back to Google and change this document, I don't have to do a thing here. It's going to show the updated copy because it's showing always a live embedded copy. So that is how you do embedding. If any of you have any problems with embedding, just let me know, or let any of our team know, and we'll help you out with it. You are going to encounter some things that can't be embedded. A website cannot be embedded in another website, and in that case you're going to have to come up with some other tricks so that people don't have to click too much to get to it, but still can see a view on the page they're at. So in that case you might actually use an image screenshot and then make a hyperlink of it to the real thing. But that is still not the preferred method. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and quit this now.